I don't know what we're gonna do, guys. Bike shop personnel, maybe we should all just band together and just stop working on these so people stop buying them. They'll buy from a bike shop, they'll get a better product, and the world will be a better place because we'll put people on bikes that actually fit them and fit their needs. So, Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube. Time for me to go do something else. Hey, Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube, and you guys know I'm doing a series on consumer direct e-bikes, and it's my day off. The shop is closed today, so I had to get something from the bike shop. The shop doesn't always look this messy. We keep this place nice and neat. It's a 117-year-old building, so when we go for the weekend, we've got to pile these things in the hallway. So I'm just walking in. I see several e-bikes. I see regular bicycles. I see new bikes that need to be built. I see stuff like this. I don't even know why this is here because it's probably not, and maybe it's just here for a flat tire because I won't work on this. But I'm seeing this, so I walk in here and I see this e-bike here. This is a great case in point of a bike that is too powerful with components not good enough. That's way too cheap. So people are buying this thing on here. I'm gonna put my keys down. People are buying this thing on price point, basically. And I'm not cutting down the brand name of this bike, you know? I'm not cutting down this company themselves, so don't worry, I'm not bashing this company, but I'm bashing this kind of style bike, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why. This is a bike they advertise for less than $1,000. You can see it doesn't have a battery in here. I can't accept that battery in my shop because I don't want my shop to possibly burn down. I don't know what kind of battery this is. I know it's a 600 plus watt hour battery, but I don't know what kind of cells it is. If it's not LG, Panasonic, or Sanyo, or you didn't buy it here, you got to take your battery out. So I'm looking around at a twisted chain right here. Why is this scary? This is let me just go over a couple things with this bike. This is a 20-inch wheel, a 1,000-watt motor on a Shimano turning derailleur. Should be a 7-speed derailleur. Yeah, 7-speed. This is one of Shimano's cheapest derailleurs. It has a very thin derailleur hanger. So this derailleur and look, this is what's supposed to be the guard to protect this derailleur. It's completely upside down. So this guard should be turned around and actually protect this derailleur in case you drop it or bend it, so the derailleur doesn't get bent in. Your chain line is not straight anymore, and actually if you get into your climbing gear here, your derailleur can get stuck in your spokes and get ripped off. I see it all the time. And with a paper thin derailleur hanger like that, I mean, really, this thing, look how much play is in this. Now that's different. And normally a tourney derailleur comes on a $600 bike, commuter bike for a regular customer who wants to, you know, get around town. They're not throwing 1,000 watts of power into their derailleur. They're also not usually rolling around on their 11.2 sprockets. So this is a bad combination if you ask me. You've got a 1,000-watt motor that can propel this bike to 32 plus miles an hour on a inexpensive tourney 7-speed derailleur. That means it's also you know, 7-speed cassette. The limit screws aren't even, I can tell the limit screws are not set, so all this thing has to do is jump off the chain one way or the other. If it drops off the chain on the high side, the low side, then it can get caught in between the freewheel and the hub, cause a lot of damage or lock up the back wheel. If it drops on this side and get caught between the chain on your high gears, got caught between your chain and lock up the rear wheel. Either way, you can lock up this rear wheel at 30 miles an hour. And the only thing that's stopping you from doing, obviously, it's not the limit screws, because those limit screws, I can tell right now, are not set correctly. Cheap components. That's basically what I'm getting at. Cheap components. But yet in the American market, people always want to know how fast can the bike go. This bike goes 32 plus miles an hour with a 1,000-watt motor on a very small chassis with 20-inch wheels and a kind of a straight flat bar handlebar. This thing could get, I could see this thing, man, just at 20 miles an hour just shaking all over the place. That's not safe, and they're selling this bike for 800, 900 bucks. People I sell Aventyn. So this is one of the brands I sell, Aventyn. Both these bikes are customers of mine. These bikes are in for maintenance. These customers have bought these bikes from the bike shop, and they know there's a bit of maintenance that you have to do on these bikes to keep them fresh, keep them good, keep them safe. People that buy these bikes because the price point cheaped out in the beginning, they bypass the bike shop, and they had no one to guide them in the right direction, to show them how to use these bikes, to show them to tune these bikes. Obviously, if the what's supposed to protect the derailleur is sticking up in the air rather than turn around down here to protect the derailleur, that just shows you that people don't know what they're doing. They're building these things. You get them in a box, or maybe the factory did this. Normally this is on from the factory, so it protects it in shipping. This is really a screwball situation that can get people hurt. I see the damage. I see after people get into accidents. Now, I'm a big fan of the e-bike. I think e-bikes are changing the world in a good place. Need to be more of these things, but they need to be sold by professionals. They don't need to be cheap Chinese stuff that's sent over here. And believe me, I love the Chinese culture. I love Chinese food. I love Chinese people. China's awesome. I want to go visit China, so I'm not cutting down anything there. I'm just saying that for some reason they're able to manufacture these things really, really cheap, which is a whole scary situation. How are they getting the labor? I don't know that, but I do know I want to pay my mechanics a living wage. I don't know how this bike can end up over here in America and sold to the end customer for $1,000. That includes shipping and everything else. There's a problem here. I know tariffs are getting ready to hit. They want to increase it, 25%, and I think they need to because of this kind of stuff. This doesn't need to be $1,000. If the barrier to entry was a little bit higher, more people would probably think about their purchase and maybe buy from a bike shop and be educated about these things, because whoever bought this bike probably looked at some YouTube videos or some propaganda website, and they saw people smiling. They've got this idea that they're going to have this awesome bike that they can ride around all the time and it's going to be safe. And where does it end up when there's a simple problem? A chain fell off. Luckily this was a simple problem, because this could be a deadly problem as well, and it ends up at the bike shop. So now, because they bought this thing cheap, I've got to work on it. I'm not just going to put this chain on. I'm going to tell this customer that there's going to be a full tune-up. A full tune-up on this bike is going to be $200+, and I'm going to check every bolt. I'm going to make sure the derailleur is adjusted, but even after it's adjusted right, all it takes is just a little bit, and this paper-thin derailleur hanger can bend and it can come out of adjustment really quick. This really all needs to be upgraded to better stuff, but to upgrade just a derailleur, believe me, you got to upgrade a shifter. This is a modular system, so the shifter and the shifter and the brake is all built into one. I don't know. This is going to end up in the landfill somewhere because it's not great. And someone had a great idea when they bought this bike. They wanted to start running errands on an e-bike. They want to get around it. They want fun. They want fitness. But they cheaped out and bought it for less than $1,000 on their own. They probably did hours and hours of research rather than walking into a bike shop and letting people who actually ride bikes in this community. We know what we need. This wheel is too small for this community. Our roads are rough. 20-inch wheel. I'm 54 years old and I'm a professional mountain bike racer. These things are rough at 20+ miles an hour. I would have had to look at the body geometry of this customer and see who they were, and if they're, I'm a 154-pound guy and I'm very small. I bet whoever bought this is probably bigger than I am, and I can see them hitting a few potholes here on Howard Avenue, not being comfortable and hurting their neck or hurting their back. Like, buy from a bike shop, buy from people who understand what a torso to leg ratio is. I deal with guys that have a big belly and they want to start riding, and I want to help them, but I'm not going to put them on something like that to help them. But yet they'll go buy that off the internet for $1,000 and it'll end up in a landfill somewhere because bike shops are going to stop working on these things. Not because I don't want the work, but because I don't want to be the last person to touch that, and I don't want to get blamed for everything. I fixed the derailleur and the chain, and next thing you know, it's been in a bike shop. Well, now my brakes aren't working good, or this is not working good. I want to do a full tune-up or nothing on these bikes. You just paid $1,000 for this bike. Now I'm going to charge you $200 for the tune-up, and I'm barely going to be making any money out of that because my mechanic is going to have to spend a couple hours on this bike. They probably advertise this bike, put it together in 15 minutes. Well, I'm sorry. When this thing comes out of my shop, I'm taking it apart basically and reassembling it because I want to make sure everything is torqued. I have torque wrenches in here, I have proper tools, and I don't want people getting hurt on these things. So just know the bike shop cares about you, but you're gonna have to pay us a little bit, but you definitely want a bike shop in your neighborhood. Bike shops make neighborhoods a better place. We ride with our community, we bring our community together, and I don't want to see my community getting hurt. Once again, nothing against this brand, nothing against China, but America, we need to band together and figure out how we can produce things and compete with them on our own soil, you know, with American workers and American technology. We might not be able to. It might be too late, and to build this motor in America might cost way too much. I don't know that. I am a cost accountant, and I've been around, but either that or we have to charge more. Or we have to, when these things come in, have them professionally assembled before they go out in the public. I mean, this thing could cause an accident, and next thing you know, a car wrecks. I mean, there's could be so many case scenarios, but really, I want to put a positive spin on this because I think e-bikes are making the world a better place. But there has to be something done, so don't complain about $200 tariff because this thing's too cheap. They're importing these things too cheap, and they're selling to our citizens too cheap here in America. And like I said, as a guy that's got to employ people, I have a hard time finding great employees. I have a good staff, but it's hard to find anymore. The American worker has got to be able to make a living wage, and that's hard in the bike shop right now. It's gonna be hard in other industries too. There's so much to unpack in this video, but basically I started this out by walking in and seeing that cheap derailleur on a 1,000-watt motor on a bike like this is just as scary to me as a bike shop owner. And stop buying this stuff. Buy from a bike shop, and a lot of bike shops aren't going to buy this stuff because we don't want to be responsible for it later. I sell this bike and the customer's going to come back 10 times with problems, and to upgrade to better components on this bike costs more than the bike. So I want to just wash my hands of this stuff, and people will kind of learn on their own that, like, don't buy cheap e-bikes because they're going to, one, put the local bike shop out of business, and two, you're going to get a product that's no one's going to be able to work it unless you're handy yourself. If you've got a machine shop and you're a bike mechanic and you have tools and you buy these things to ride, not to work on. And the regular citizen is not going to be able to fix this bike. The regular citizen is not going to be able to be comfortable on this bike. Look how close the seat is to the handlebar. If you have any kind of belly, you have good luck because your arms are going to be riding like this. I'm a small guy and I feel it. I don't know where I'm going with this rant. I just know what I see when I walk through my bike shop right now, and I'm not happy. I got into this industry because I love this industry. I love bicycles. We actually, you know, we can turn a profit, and you know, not a big profit. I'll never get rich owning a bike shop. Those days are way over with. But I want a good life out of it. I want to help people with health and fitness and get their bikes working for them. But I don't know if the bike shop industry is going to survive. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here and go out of my kayak a little bit. If you like what we do on the Bike Rider YouTube, like and subscribe. I'll keep doing these videos, uncanned videos, and show you what I see when I walk through my e-bike repair facility. And I am going to stick to my guns. We need to start paying more. We need to build these things in America somehow. I don't know how to accomplish that, but that's what we need to do. Or we need to work with China. I'm okay with working with China, just as long as when these things hit our soil, that our citizens are at least educated of what they're buying. The bikes are put together well. They've got good cells, and they're spec'd decently. You shouldn't have a big blown out V8 motor hooked to a Toyota Camry transmission. V8 motors are awesome. Toyota Camrys are awesome, but you mix the two and something's going to break, and that's exactly what's happening right here. So let's get sensible about it, folks. I'm available. Anybody in politics or can do something about this. I'm a busy guy, but I will donate some of my time to see if I can help the problem somehow. So anyway, tell me what you guys think. I start tomorrow on the bike shop, and I'm going to be here till Saturday. I might be really slow at returning comments, but I'm working a lot because it's hard to find enough people to run the bike shop and still be able to pay everybody. Because these kind of customers don't want to pay us. They want us to fix their bikes, but when you tell them, you know, it's going to be $200 for a tune-up on an e-bike, they look at you like you're crazy. But you know, we've got several hours involved in this tune-up when we're done with it, because we basically have to disassemble and reassemble. And a lot of times the metal's so cheap you can strip out a bolt real easy. I don't know what we're gonna do, guys. Bike shop personnel, maybe we should all just band together and just stop working on these so people stop buying them. They'll buy from a bike shop, they'll get a better product, and the world will be a better place because we'll put people on bikes that actually fit them and fit their needs. So, Portable Bicycle Ride YouTube. Time for me to go do something else.